Toastmasters and guests. The title of my speech tonight is "It Takes 1,000,000 Pixels to Make a Picture, but Only One to Ruin It." 90%, I believe, 90% of the world's problems today can be solved by this little guy right here. It may be tough to see it, but it's a turn signal. Alright? What I want you to gather from that, the other day I was driving down the freeway on 64, a lot of you know what that is. And there was a car in front of me. It wasn't driving real fast. There was a car right next to it, maybe a little farther back. And I saw that he started to go over into the other lane. Struck the other car and caused an accident. Now the car to the right of it had no clue that he was going to be coming into his lane. Had he been signaled, he or she, I'm sorry, I didn't see it for the he or she. Had he or she been signaled, they probably could have avoided the accident. But the person driving the car was irresponsible, did not use their turn signal. Too many times these days we overlook these small but simple parts of life that could affect someone else that we don't even know. It brings back a story that my father told me one time when I was younger. It's about a boat traveling down a river, and he flies down the river, and the boat's long gone. Okay, there's a fisherman standing on the side, sees the boat go, goes all the way down, and then minutes later he sees the water splash up against the shore and starts washing away the sand. That fisherman, or the person on the boat, didn't even realize the effect that he or she had on the shore. This is kind of tough. The bed here didn't even realize that. Didn't even realize the effect that they had on the shore because they didn't even see the ripple that they left behind. So, what I want you to gather from my title tonight is that all these small things that make up life, you may not notice the first pixel that's gone from the picture, okay, because that's what makes up the picture, is a bunch of pixels. But after taking one here, one there, and one here, and one there, you develop a habit, one here, one there, the picture's gone. You could be affecting something that you had no clue that you were even doing. Our society has become so lazy with the elementary actions, and we don't realize the responsibilities that lie upon these actions, that we forget about it. I was recruited years ago, actually not years ago, back in 2004, sorry, 2004, to play college lacrosse down at a school in North Carolina. And I thought, going into this, I'm a big NCAA athlete, I was playing on a scholarship, ready to go, ready to get out there, play for a national championship. And guess what we did the first week? We learned how to run. We learned how to run. What do you think we did week 2? We learned how to run through tires. And week 3, we didn't even touch a stick or a ball a month into practice because we hammered down the basics until we mastered it. Same thing with professional athletes. I think that's what I propose to you tonight, is that don't overlook the small responsibilities of life, because even as professionals, they still master the basics. And I think that's going to help us out later on in life. If we master the basics, we won't have an incomplete picture. Most, to head back to the, I'm just jumping around a little bit, but to head back to the freeway incident, the response from the person that pulled over and struck the other car, a common response was probably, "I didn't see the person." Okay? Now I was reading an article online the other day about accidents and irresponsibility. And a lot of people, when they get into these habits of talking on cell phones or just so into where they are going, how many of you have ever gone from point A to point B and not even realized that you've driven there? I used to travel up and back and forth to school, and sometimes, that was an 8-hour drive. Sometimes it felt like 30 minutes because I had done it so many times that I just didn't even realize it. And I felt, it brings me back to myself, I reflect on myself as, how could I have hurt somebody along my travels? I didn't even know it. So that accident this past week opened my eyes to go back to the basics of life. Ladies and gentlemen.